So, hello everyone, welcome along to Storm FM. This is the live interview with Sabrina Fallah. So, how are you doing? And how's things been? Obviously, it's a very difficult time at the moment with COVID and everything going on. Yeah,
Yeah, in Canada, oh, you're speaking about the pandemic?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So in Canada, things are okay, but in my area in Ottawa, we're open. Um, I think the schools are open as well still.
Right.
But you have to wear masks and you have to
Hmm.
social distance. Our
Yeah.
malls are packed, so they have security to make sure
Hmm.
people, but but Toronto, that's 5 hours away, bad.
Oh, really?
And Montreal, which is 2 hours away, is bad. So we are okay compared to the
Yeah.
other small cities around. So
That's good then. And of course, you're very, we're touching on your musical career and everything like that as well now. So, who were your sort of main sort of musical inspirations and influences?
Green Day is my main one, as you can see behind me.
Yeah, yeah.
But Bon Jovi and Billy Idol are also in there. But Green Day got me into rock. It's actually
Hmm.
their American Idiot album. When I heard that
Okay.
album, I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. So that album made me who I am, honestly. So yeah, so yeah,
That's a great album as
that
well.
was one of their best-selling albums, actually.
Mm. It was, yeah. That was a great
Yeah.
album as well. And of course, those songs, "The American Idiot" was the one that everyone sort of could, could sort of relate to. I suppose it was the one that takes it back to pretty much everyone's sort of not childhood as such, but years growing
It's
up.
it's very political, that album.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't think of it being political when I was listening to it. It's just those songs were just so well done. Like
Mhm.
the whole production was so good that it just caught me, and I'm like I wanted that sound and feel in my music, but I don't want to copy them. But
Yeah.
that's when I'm like I want to do that kind of style. So, yeah.
Okay. And of course, did you always want to be a musician from a young age, or what was it that kind of turned your head to getting into music?
At first, I wanted to be a doctor, but then I realized I cannot put needles into the people's arm. I'm afraid to give them, so I'm like, never mind. And then I wanted to be a vet, but then I realized I'm allergic to animals, some animals,
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
so I couldn't do that. And
Hmm.
then actually, if my music career didn't like go to where I am now, I would have
Hmm.
loved to have been a detective because I love watching cops and those mystery movies and solving crime.
Okay.
So I still have that. I still want to do it, but it takes a long time to get into that kind of force.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but it's interesting on how they actually investigate and figure things out.
And how would you describe your style to someone who might not be familiar with it, yourself as a musician?
I've been told I have a lot of Green Day in my style, but everybody says different. But for voice, I get told I sound like Joan Jett and Pat Benatar.
Okay. As I
Yeah.
was watching a
And
couple
it's
of the other.
interest and it's
Oh,
interesting because I don't really listen to them, but I have their tone of voice.
yeah, yeah. I was going to say, I was watching a few of the other interviews that you've done as well. And Kelly Clarkson was a big influence that you mentioned as well there. And you said that
Kelly
you
Clark's yeah, Kelly
sang Kelly Clarkson
Clarkson.
songs to get the range. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you saw my last interview, didn't you?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
so Kelly Clarkson, I love her.
Hmm.
I love performing her songs. I love singing her songs. Ever since I started singing, I was always singing Kelly Clarkson
Yeah.
because to hit those high notes, I had to sing her, and of course I had the proper vocal training. But man, if I can sing Kelly Clarkson, I can hit those high notes.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I would take her song to my vocal coach, and they
Mhm.
would help me to sing her song, and then after that, it would be easier for me. But she helped me a lot with my range, and
All
for
right.
my raspiness,
Yeah, yeah.
Green Day.
Green Day, yeah. Okay. So are you sort of signed to a record label at the moment, or are you sort of more independent?
I'm signed to a record label. Dance Plant Records signed me in January 2019.
That's great. And so, sort of, how did that come about then as well? How did they sort of get in contact with you and say, or was it you getting in contact with them?
Well, in 2018, I got discovered on LinkedIn.
Yeah, yeah.
So, so the guy that contacted me said that he sees that I should be seen and heard, and he mentioned that he knows the guy from Dance Plan Records, and
Hmm.
he said, "Why don't you contact them and say that I suggested it?" So I
Okay.
did that.
Yeah.
Um, then I talked to Cuz, who is the guy that signed me, and
Hmm.
for a few months, and then he said, "Why would you like to join us?" I said, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
Hmm.
And I know the work starts happening once you sign a record
Yeah,
contract.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
So I was happy because I'm like, I'm working so hard already. I want the
Hmm.
extra boost, but um, I great team, great people. It a year after I by when I got signed that same year in November, I started getting mainstream airplay. So
Okay.
slowly, yeah. So yeah, it took a long time, but
Hmm.
everything takes time. Nothing comes easy.
No, absolutely. That's right. And you have to just, work at it and just use that determination to get to, the next level. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I still have goals. I
Hmm.
want to achieve, but step by step.
And then we're just going to touch on a few other little things in here as well before I sort of go down to a different route. So you're going to be featured in the Lazy Indie magazine as well. So, what should people expect to be reading when they, get a copy of that?
Um, I don't want to give too much away,
Yeah.
but they're gonna basically hear about my journey on how I
Hmm.
got to where I am.
Okay.
I don't want to say too much because you never know what else you're gonna see in there. So,
True. Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. And then that's of course that's great to be involved in that. And of course you're also nominated for the where was it? I don't know. I made a note of it here now. Um,
the
where
hits
was it?
100.
Hits 100. Yeah. And see that's where you're actually coming up against some big names in that category as well for the best new artist there. I think it was Lizzo and Tones and I, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess I've been put there, but it like I love being in awards because I got chosen, and I it's great, but
Hmm.
it's okay if I don't win because I was chosen to be a part of it. But
Yeah.
being next to those big artists, I feel loved. I feel like, oh,
Absolutely, you have to. You have to feel loved, and you said there about you might not win it, but what would it mean if you did win it and you did sort of beat artists that are that well known around the world?
thank you for voting and taking your time from your busy day to vote for me as many times, because the thing I always say is that nobody has to vote for you.
Yeah.
It's really the thought and kindness of that person to take the time to go on the page and click the voting. Like,
Hmm.
nobody has to do that for you. Voting is the hardest thing because you have to nicely promote it, but not
Yeah,
annoy people to do it,
that's true. Yeah, yeah.
or else nobody's going to vote for you.
Hmm. Fair enough. And then, so how have you sort of been keeping yourself busy during the times that we're under at the moment? Are you still able to gig and things like that, and little venues?
I do virtual concerts online because we cannot perform out. My label told me even if it opens, don't go yet.
Right.
Don't
Okay.
don't think it's safe 100%. So they're telling me not to do it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
online stuff, everybody's doing it.
Hmm.
So yeah, so if I get opportunities online, I'll do it for
And
sure.
that's through what? Just through Facebook and YouTube, or do you use other platforms
Uh,
like Twitch and stuff as well?
mm, Depending on what that person wants us to use, because it's people who are setting up the virtual concerts for artists
Yeah.
and say, come here and join the feed for this, for that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't matter as long as I can still get my name out, because this is the hardest time for some artists, because if you're already like huge and well known, you have the capability of doing things. But if you're not, then you're stuck. And I don't have the recording gear in my house, and I have to go to the studio. So a lot of the studio time has been cut from me this year, because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was going to record Christmas songs. I was going to record some songs, and
Hmm.
everything got cut. And this year I wanted a Christmas song, but hopefully next year. Hopefully, we don't know what's going to happen.
No, that's right. Yeah. But that's great to be able to still do these virtual gigs and stuff as well, and
Yeah,
get
it's
to
fun.
virtual
It's
concerts.
fun.
Yeah.
It's
And
good. It's
I was just going to say, sort of, I was just touching on it there with the likes of YouTube, and there's other sites like YouNow and Twitch, and there's
yeah, yeah,
musicians
yeah.
that are on there. So, what would you say to musicians that are sort of up and coming, and maybe using that as a platform to grow themselves?
Well, what I always say is now everything's online and
Yeah.
everything is with social media. As
Hmm.
long as you use it properly, it will help. But don't
Yeah.
abuse it. Don't overuse it either, because
Hmm.
sometimes overusing it can backfire. Like some sites might be the best, but if you use it too much, then it's not good. So just keep everything updated, keep talking to people, keep connecting with people, and everything's going to be good. This year has been tough,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I've actually been pretty busy with the radio, mainstream and radio stations, and so I really kept myself positive. But some
Hmm.
days is miserable.
Yeah. Sometimes you just
But
can't. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but I'm very excited for the new year, and
Hmm.
hopefully things get better. But nobody can promise anything, because nobody really knows what's going to happen.
That's right. Yeah. So, just going along to sort of some of the producers that you worked alongside as well. There's some producers in there that have worked alongside some absolutely, massive names in the music industry. And what have you sort of learned off of those guys?
Pardon? Sorry, I
Well,
didn't grab the last bit.
oh, I was just saying, what have you sort of learned off of those producers that have worked
Oh,
with, yeah,
oh, learned.
the
Well,
likes of Elton John and so on? Yeah,
Elton John, Stuart
yeah,
Epps. Well,
yeah,
all I can say is every producer that I've worked with are different.
yeah. Hmm.
But the best thing I like about all of them is they let me be creative and do what I want, and know what I want it to sound like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they actually did what I asked for. And if they felt like something else was, some other things were needed, then
yeah.
they would show it to me. Like I felt like I was involved in the process for
That's
all of
great.
the
Yeah,
songs, because some
you need
people
to be, you need to
don't
feel
get
involved.
involved. But if
Yeah,
I'm not involved, then I don't like it. Like I want to know what they're doing with my song. At
yeah,
least
yeah.
tell me what you're doing with it.
That's what
And
I was just going to say. You need to feel that you're involved in the process as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And of course, so we said about that there, and of course, with YouTube and stuff as well, it's able to hit such a massive target audience now. Getting all of the songs across onto YouTube, it literally goes across worldwide. So you can hit anywhere in the world. The UK or the US
Yeah.
or Australia, New Zealand, wherever. Or South America. Yeah, yeah,
Yes. Actually, I don't know how I got my songs in South America,
yeah,
but Brazil and
yeah.
Chile are playing my music. It's amazing how having your songs online can connect with people, but also you have to network and find them. But it's
Yeah, yeah,
amazing how things are everywhere now. If you're lucky, you might be seen even online. But
yeah,
I
absolutely.
never thought LinkedIn would ever be the place where I get discovered. Because it's LinkedIn, right? It's not like a
Yeah, yeah.
Facebook or YouTube,
Hmm.
but
But that's great
it
though.
can be anywhere. Yeah.
I was going to say that's great to get, found on somewhere like LinkedIn, and of course, that's obviously they can't really hear the music from that, so obviously then you still have to direct them to, links and whatever to hear the music itself. But
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
still great. Yeah, yeah.
I just don't know how that person found me on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
But my music and everything is on LinkedIn as well. But it's amazing how people contact me and then I'm like, how did you find me? Like seriously. But it's amazing. The internet has everything. It's just you just type something in and then it
Yeah,
brings you up somehow. Some kind of
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
word. Yeah.
Mhm. That's and that's fantastic with the internet as well. There, we said it with streaming and stuff just before, just a minute ago. But with the internet as a whole, it's just such a different world these days to what it used to be like. Back in, I suppose, probably the 60s and 70s.
Right.
One of my granddad's friends, he worked in the music industry over here, and he worked for a company called Rack Records, and he worked alongside some real big name producers, and got to work alongside some massive artists and see them develop and grow as well. And that was back in the 60s, and
Oh,
obviously
nice.
these days now it'd be a lot easier to find somebody, yeah, to actually link up with someone, yeah.
It's still very hard to be seen
Hmm.
now, but
Yeah.
when I was discovered, I was
Hmm.
at my tipping point.
Okay.
So I was like, should I give up? Should I not? Should I give up?
Yeah.
Should I not? I was
Hmm.
not in the best place.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I get an email and I'm like, okay, God, you're telling me not to give up, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, so somebody is telling me don't stop yet. And then everything changed afterwards.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's
I've got
like,
a similar sort of story of how I got into the station itself. I was going through a very bad sort of bout of anxiety and depression and things like that, and it was just a matter of needing something to focus on, and it just
yeah,
sort of fell into my lap basically, and there you
yeah,
go. Here we are 10 years later, and I'm still running it and going strong. So yeah.
yeah, yeah, same here. Yeah. I believe there is somebody out there leading you,
Hmm.
and that something definitely told me don't stop, because every time I feel like I want to stop, something comes in front of me. See, there's this now. I
Yeah.
swear,
Yeah.
it's crazy, but it's true.
Oh,
The
absolutely. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And then we'll, touch on the fact that you write your music as well as perform it. So, what are the inspirations behind a lot of the songs? Are they sort of based around sort of real life experiences, most of them, or?
Well, the songs I write are about me and the people that I know.
Yeah, yeah.
I write about life in general and what people go through. And
Hmm.
also I write to help people to know that they're not alone in life, because,
Okay.
it's good for people to know that you have gone through that, and if they have
Yeah.
gone through it, they're not alone. So,
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah.
And that's great as well to actually use real life experiences and things that a lot of people can relate to, because that's what everyone wants to hear and wants to sort of listen to and sort of know about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to the next point now, which is how important do you believe that it is for radio stations and up and coming sort of podcasters and things like that to support musicians and up and coming unsigned talent or local talent or talent that just is just trying to find a way to get out there.
Are you talking about online and mainstream stations or just
Yeah,
one
both.
station?
No, both.
In,
Both.
in general?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think well from my experience, I was told if one mainstream station plays you, the rest will follow, and that's
Mhm.
what happened with me.
Oh,
So
wow.
I say radio stations, podcasts, anybody
Yeah.
out there, give people a chance if
Hmm.
you believe or and like their product, because sometimes you just need that person to say, okay, I'll play it and see what happens. And
Hmm.
that station played it and I saw what happened. So it does, yeah, but I do believe in anything in business, anything. All you need is that one person to give you a chance. And that's how
Absolutely.
things start to happen.
Yeah, yeah. We need to just find that first opportunity, and then it gives you a chance to kind of kick on from that. Yeah.
Hmm.
So we touched on that point there. So yeah, what's your sort of creative process like when you're actually going about writing a song?
I sometimes think of the title first,
Hmm.
or I write the chorus, or I write the bridge, or I write the
Yeah.
verse, or I just write something down. I don't really have a structure right away. Or
Hmm.
sometimes if I'm really mad, I'll write a song in 5 minutes, which I have.
Okay.
But I was 15 and in high school, and songs were flowing out of me like crazy because it
Yeah.
was teenage years.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't have a structure because I want things to come out naturally and then I
Hmm.
organize it afterwards. But yeah. Um,
So it's just a matter of being able to get those thoughts out on paper, and then you can kind of work around that. Yeah.
but
Okay.
I do have my acoustic guitar with me, so I
Yeah.
have the melody going. But
Okay.
things can always change throughout the process.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And with the guitar playing, was that something that you learned sort of at school at a young age, or was that something that you sort of self-taught?
Well, I had guitar lessons, but I don't think I had a full year of guitar lessons because
Yeah.
I just started learning songs and getting the chords online and buying the books. But
Hmm.
what got me into guitar playing? Billy from Green Day, because I'm like, I want to
Okay.
be like him. So
Yeah, yeah.
my guitar is called Billy. Yeah.
You've named it after him as well. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's quality. That's really, really good. And yeah, so obviously Green Day are a massive inspiration, as you were saying there as well. And of course, that's shown with that as well. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So I'm going to ask this next question. You'll probably say Green Day, but if you could open for anyone, who would it be?
Can I mention a few bands or just the one?
Yeah. Oh
Because
no, as many as you want. As
because
many as
because
you
it's gonna be Green
want.
Day.
No, as many as you want. If you want to bring others into it,
Oh,
yeah.
well, Green Day would be one. Simple Plan would be another one.
Hmm.
I would love to work with Avril Lavigne. She's
Yeah, yeah.
Canadian. She's great. Bon Jovi, Billy
Hmm.
Idol, Kelly Clarkson. I have to work with Kelly Clarkson. Evanescence. I like Amy Lee. She's good too. Um, my God, my list will go on forever.
This has been long, but Evanescence have got some
Green Day
banging,
would be
really
the
good songs.
band I would want to open for first, but sometimes you have to take steps and steps to get there.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
even if I actually I met the bassist at their show, the
Hmm.
bassist, and I remember screaming at him. I'm like, "Tell Billy I love him," and he's looking at me like, "Okay." But yeah, I
But
met him for like a few seconds while they were setting up, and
yeah, yeah.
he was talking to the public, and I was in the front, and I'm like, "Hi, where's Billy?"
Just proper fangirl over, like, yeah, yeah.
I was probably like 16, 17 when that I was a baby. I was young. So.
There's some great names in there that you mentioned. You know, you said Green Day, but even the likes of Evanescence, absolutely, you know,
Oh,
fantastic band.
I
Got
love the
some
first
amazing
album.
songs.
The
Yeah.
first album was like, oh, I was singing their songs like for like I love My Immortal, that song.
Oh, what's the song
Oh,
that is? That is outstanding. Yeah, yeah.
oh yeah, so good. So yeah, I can sing Evanescence songs, but my God, I grew up with that, with
Mhm.
Evanescence. Yeah.
And even, you know, Avril Lavigne as well is, you know, another fantastic talent. Real, yeah, just a fantastic singer.
She
Yeah, yeah.
changed along the way because she wanted to
Mm.
go more pop, but
Into the
she
style. Yeah,
but
yeah.
but she never lost it. She
Hmm.
still had that edge even though she went pop.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
didn't change too much. Actually, I loved her Girlfriend Years. The
Mm.
Girlfriend song, so
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
so good. Loved it.
I
Loved it.
love that one. I love Skater Boy is obviously the one that everyone knows.
Yeah, the first album. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's even some other songs as well that even there's a song that I love at the moment because it kind of relates to the time that we're going through, and it's called Warrior.
Oh, by Avril, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Her new album.
yeah. And I just think that's so good because it really relates to the situation that we're sort of going through at the moment.
Yeah, it's beautiful. But
Yeah.
that album was, I felt, was about her disease.
Yes, I think he
How
was.
how
Yeah.
um how she couldn't get out of bed and she had
Mm,
to write these songs in her bed. She was
yeah.
strong because it's
Hmm.
not easy to write songs when you're not feeling good. So
No, that's it.
she
Yeah.
did, but that album was basically her in bed writing it, and it came out very well, very
Mhm.
beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's have a look. So, where are the sort of favourite places for you that you might have performed or, you know, sort of traveled to perform or record sort of videos or any of the music or whatever? Yeah.
I love festivals
Hmm.
because it's open and you can see everybody. Bars and venues, they're okay, but they get noisy and some people get drunk. Once there was a drunk guy in front of me at a bar, and I was
Yeah.
literally like, if there's a security, please help me. But there was no security because I don't know, but I've been through I've gone through these weird things, but
Mhm.
yeah, for music videos, I went to a skater park for my frontline video, and somebody said, "Are you copying Avril Lavigne?"
I
I'm
watched
like,
that video as well a few days ago. Yeah. Yeah,
I was like, I didn't even know I was going to a skate park
yeah.
because they just brought me there.
Yeah,
No, I'm not copying Avril Lavigne, but that skate park was cool. But walking with heels down the skate park was
yeah.
not enjoyable.
Killer. Fair enough.
But in the end, I enjoyed the video. But walking with those heels, never again. Am I since then I never touched heels. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them.
So we haven't got that much more that I want to cover. But what advice would you give to someone who wanted to get into the music industry? You know, whether that is into the songwriting side of it or just to perform.
Well, you can get into the industry in any way, recording, writing, being a
Yeah,
producer, engineer. But if you
yeah,
really want to like be an artist and succeed, you have to do it and push and not let anybody bring you down because people are going to along the way.
hmm,
And with friends, I have lost friends along the way, and that's gonna happen because they
yeah,
get jealous. um, Believe in yourself, don't give up, and do what you enjoy, and make sure you love it.
hmm,
Don't do it because somebody's telling you to. Do it
yeah,
because you
yeah.
want to do it, and just know things take time. So just be patient and keep going, and eventually everything is gonna fall. together. Like I was at my giving up stage, and then I got seen. So um because I was working so hard, I'm like, why nothing's happening? And then boom.
Yeah.
So things do actually come true, but you have to work and make it come true. That's the thing. You have to really work at it, but it's hard, but it does happen. It does come true.
And what about someone that's just started out, maybe just put it up, a couple of covers, maybe on YouTube, something like that, and might want to go down the route of actually writing their own music. Do you think it is better to base it off of real life events?
Yeah. Just don't copy other artists while you're writing the music. Choose about what you want to write about, what kind of artist you're trying to be, and focus it on that. Because nobody wants another of the other artists, because they're not going to say I want that artist. If there's
Yeah.
already that artist out there, they're not going to take it.
No, true, yeah.
It's the labels are like, we already have a simple plan, we don't need another one. So you have to have something unique or something different that people can see the difference, because a lot of bands may sound alike, but there's something about them that's different than the other
And more
band.
sort of unique about them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We haven't really got loads more. Just one or two more that I wanted to ask. So, of course, to many people, music can be sort of, a mood lifter as well, or take you back to a certain time in your life. Is that something else that you sort of base around, when recording your own music? Is that something else you kind of take into the process as well?
Like, do I think about my past, you mean? Like,
Yeah, or yeah.
that's interesting, because I write about my past too in my songs. Like the songs that I write, I'm either in that moment.
Yeah.
It's happening in that moment, or it happened 5 years ago, and then I'm writing about it. So yeah, so all my songs are from different times of my life, and I have so many songs that I want to put out, which are from my past, because they need to be heard. But I have to get into the studio first
to get them all out there. Yeah. So when it's safe to do so in 2021, we're going to have a whole list of albums, and there'll be 4 or 5 albums released early on in the year. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hopefully.
You'll have you'll go from doing no recording time to heaps of recording time all in one go. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully I can do an EP. I would love to get to do a full album, but I need time for that, and the pandemic really messed everything up.
All right. And then I think we've got probably one more that I was going to ask, and that was sort of, actually I think I've covered that anyway, so I think that's probably about it, actually, to be honest with you.
Sorry?
I think that's covered what I was going to say. So I think we've covered everything there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, of course, do you want to just plug where people can find your music as well, to give it a bit of a listen, and whereabouts can people find you?
They can go to my website, sabrinafallah.com, and on my website I have all of my social media accounts. I also have a TikTok, Sabrina_Fallah, and a Snapchat, Sabrina_Fallah.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking if there's anything else.
Facebook,
I'm on most of the social media accounts. Just put Sabrina Fallah in Google and it will all come
and you'll find that.
But there's so many things out there. I just try to join them all, because
I was just going to say, go on, with TikTok as well. Is that something else where that's kind of a big influence now? Do you get quite a lot of people watching your stuff on there?
My squirrels are famous on there.
Yeah.
I don't use TikTok to dance and stuff like people do. I put the clips of my interviews on TikTok, and I put my squirrels on TikTok, and people love my squirrels. My squirrels are very known on TikTok.
Lots of them as well. It seems to be a lot. Yeah.
actually, it's amazing. People are actually enjoying the videos of my squirrels
Yeah,
because
yeah,
of how close they actually come.
yeah,
4 years of feeding them has paid off to get them to
yeah.
come. Yeah.
And that's great as well, just to use that for, some publicity, whatever it may be, whether it's the interviews or
Yeah,
whatever it is, just get out there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
actually, my label told me to get TikTok because they said put your music behind your videos or
Yeah.
just talk so people can find you there and connect to you on the other sites. Like, because actually a few weeks ago, I normally don't do this, but I Googled myself just to see.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
And I found somebody used one of my songs on TikTok, but they didn't tag me, but it kind of came into the Google feed.
The search.
And it
Yeah, yeah.
was this 8-year-old girl playing my song stuck up behind some anime thing. And I
Mhm.
messaged her and said, "Hi, I'm Sabrina. You're using my song. You didn't tag me, but thank you for choosing it." And she's
Yeah.
like, "Well, your song is so upbeat and I don't hear it as much as the other songs that are on the radio, so I chose
Mhm.
it." I'm like, "Oh."
That's cute, isn't it, as well? It's really sweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I love that. When people,
And then what I did is I took the video from her page and
Mhm.
tagged it on my end so
Yeah.
people can go to her page, and so we attached it because it was so adorable that she
Mhm.
used my song. And the thing is, I don't even know if she understands what that song's about, but she
No,
just
yeah.
was
Used
was
it.
just
Yeah, yeah.
upbeat. It was just upbeat. And for some reason, kids under 10 years old love that song because it's
Okay.
just so jumpable. It's you can jump and dance with it,
Yeah,
but I don't think they know what stuck up means yet. But they
yeah.
like the music.
They'll learn eventually, but maybe it's best to be naive at the moment for them. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't meet those kind of people in their
Mhm.
life.
Yeah. Hopefully not, but yeah, we'll just sort of end it there, really. And of course, you said earlier about the Hits 100 as well. So if people wanted to vote for you there, then what's the website where they can actually do that?
Well, they can go to the Hits 100 Arizona website, but I post it on my page every once
Yeah.
in a while, and
Mhm.
it's till March 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
So make sure you go there, and you're under two categories. So one of them is the
Artist.
uh, best new artist, and the other one is for the best supporter or something, isn't it as well?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So make sure you vote in both of those categories. I don't know whether you have to do it how I did it, where you sort of just tick random ones for the rest, or if you can skip over them. But either way,
If
yeah, yeah,
if it didn't let you skip over it, I guess you had to do every category. But I'm sure everybody will know the artists because they are well known.
yeah, yeah. And of course, there's a number of other categories on there as well. I think there's the best animated and best family movies and stuff in there as well.
I
So
know.
yeah, yeah. It's not just
Yeah.
music based stuff. So yeah, thank you for taking some time out today, and good luck with your music career and moving forward.
Thank
Um,
you.
and yeah, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, cheers. Thanks a lot.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.